everyone, it's me again. I'm Lena and I'm from the Healthcare Landscape group. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my main work, which is on the topic of how to become a pediatric nurse part 1. Now in this video, I'll be talking about 4 main parts, which is about the definition of a pediatric nurse and the purpose of being a pediatric nurse. Then the second part is about the skills required to be a pediatric nurse. The third part are the exposure opportunities that I can attend or do to become a pediatric nurse, and also the fourth part is the timeline to be a pediatric nurse. Now this video's aim and this main work's aim is to summarize all the things that I have learned in the last 10 weeks of studying. So here is like a collection of mind maps that I think is pretty important that relates to my long-term goal setting, which is being a pediatric nurse. That is my dream job. Now let's review and let's get started on the first part. The definition of a pediatric nurse and its purpose. Now my long-term goal setting is to become a pediatric nurse, but what is the meaning of a pediatric nurse? What is a pediatric nurse? Well, a pediatric nurse is a registered nurse, simply a nurse, but specifically a registered nurse that takes care of children from infancy through adolescence. So when you're a baby, from a baby through adolescence, when it becomes an adult. So yeah, that is a pediatric nurse. It takes care of children, so only children, not adults. Alright, so my personal purpose of being a pediatric nurse, my reason to be a pediatric nurse is that I can interact with children, which I'm very fond of. And I also have diverse responsibilities, not only one responsibility, but I can move around, exercise my body, have diverse responsibilities so that I won't get bored easily with my job. Then other factors like job security, and yeah, those are some of the my purposes of being a pediatric nurse. That is the first part. The second part, I will talk about the skills required to be a pediatric nurse. Now, as you can see on this mind map, I have written down the required skills to be a pediatric nurse, and also in this mind map, this is the mind map that I have made this week, and these are the mind maps that I have made in the last few weeks. So as you can see, both in these two mind maps, the skills that I need is communication skills, empathy, resilience, teamwork, and observation. Moreover, I need to have knowledge on healthcare terminology, administrating medicine, maintaining medical records, basic nursing, and understanding child development. So those are the skills and knowledge that I need to acquire to become a pediatric nurse. And of course, to be a pediatric nurse, I need to go to medical school, nursing school, but that I will talk about later in the fourth part. So those are the skills required to be a pediatric nurse. Communication skills help me to interact with other colleagues as well as the patients as well, my patients as well. Teamwork ensures that we work together effectively and that we execute the plan effectively too. Observation, organization, empathy, and resilience are all equally important. So yeah, those are the skills that are required to be a pediatric nurse. For the third part, I want to talk about the exposure opportunities to be a pediatric nurse. Now, what is an exposure opportunity? An exposure opportunity is like an opportunity where I can get to meet and experience new people, concepts, things, ideas, environments, and etc. So those are just what exposure opportunities are. And the earlier that I get exposed to the healthcare environment, the better, because that when I get to experience the healthcare environment, the work environment, then I'll get a better idea of what I'm working in and what I will be working in. So that is why exposure opportunities is important. Now let's get into the actual exposure opportunities for me as a teen when I get to the teenage. So firstly, I can volunteer because it will bring an invaluable experience to me. Next is gaining experience, of course, attending seminars or open houses, anything that will help me to interact with professionals, ask professionals within my family if they are in that field, observe professionals working by going to the hospital, the clinic, any hospital setting, any healthcare setting for a checkup so that I can observe those professionals working and get a better idea, get a better understanding and comprehension of their work and their tasks. And yeah, I think that is the exposure opportunities to be a pediatric nurse. Next, the last part is the timeline to be a pediatric nurse. Now on this board, I have actually all of these mind maps includes the timeline to be a pediatric nurse. Now, it have one thing in common. So, firstly, I need to go to high school. And what do I need to do in high school? I need to have strong grades, college courses, attend college courses, have college courses like AP courses, biology, anatomy, chemistry, anything that will help me to gain terminology knowledge on my field. That is the 4 years of high school. Next is university from 2 to 4 years, depending on what degree I'm getting. If I'm getting an associate degree, it will be 2 years. But if I'm getting a bachelor's degree, which is more preferred by hospitals and people who will hire me, which I will choose the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So yeah. Next is pass the NCLEX as well as passing the MCAT and also following my nursing program. Now you might ask, what is the difference between an NCLEX and an MCAT? And the NCLEX is the exam that I need to take to get a license to be a pediatric nurse, a registered nurse. Next is the MCAT, which is the exam to get into medical school so that I can be licensed, I can to be a pediatric nurse, do the job of being a pediatric nurse. So yeah, that is the difference. Next is medical school. Well, medical school is like university, but it's from 2 to 4 years. Here, I will learn about the medical terminology I will need to learn, and yeah, I will need to get certified, gain experience, on-job training, optional fellowship or advanced practice, and I can opt for advanced education, which is a master's or doctoral degree, which I have to go back to university and get, and then continue with medical school. And finally, when I go to work, I need to, during working, I can get growth exposure, growth opportunities like leadership, and I can opt to work at a hospital, a clinic, anywhere that needs a pediatric nurse. So yeah, I think that is the timeline, just generally how to become a pediatric nurse. I need to finish university and medical school, pass the NCLEX RN exam so that I can be a pediatric nurse, become a registered nurse, gain experience in pediatric facility, pass the certified pediatric nurse exam, and start my career as a pediatric nurse. So to wrap this video up, I have a quote. Every nurse was drawn to nursing because of the desire to care, to serve, or to help. This quote is from Christina Faith Helmer. Now, thank you for listening to my video. Those are all the ideas that I have here, and again, I want to give my big thanks to you, and I appreciate your time and attention hearing my work. Thank you for listening to my video, and I'm looking forward to see you soon. Goodbye.